going to talk about pranayama. What a beautiful thing. And I have been practicing pranayama since I can remember, since I was a teenager. Um, so this is such a beautiful practice that can help us in so many different ways in our lives. And I like to tell the stories and teach by my own experience and what I've seen in my work. And one of the most remarkable experiences I had with pranayama, not with me, but with clients, I had this one client that she came to see me to just have a yoga class. And after a few minutes through the class, I realized that she wasn't breathing properly, that she didn't really know how to breathe. And she came to have a yoga class with me. She said she had anxiety, that she had sometimes depression, etc. Beautiful young girl. And I asked her if it's okay for you. She came from very far away actually to have that class from Europe to Costa Rica. I told her it would be okay for you if you if you just stop the yoga class and we're gonna focus just on your breath. She said yes, of course. So I put her lying down, and for 1 hour, we're trying to re-educate her body, her system to breathe well. So, of course, when you breathe in yogic breath, your belly should expand out. I always like the example of a balloon. When you inhale, the belly expands like a balloon. When you exhale, your belly contracts, deflating. And a lot of people, they do the opposite when they breathe. When they inhale, they suck their belly in, and when they exhale, they still suck in their belly in sometimes. And it's very important that we focus first on the abdominal breathing, just that. And then we have the diaphragmatic breathing, the complete yogic breath. We're going to get into details later. But to tell you the story, it took a while to revert that inhale belly out, exhale belly in. It sounds such a simple thing, but it took her forever. And after an hour, we kind of got it. And I told her, you must continue practicing this every day a little bit. Just consciously connect with your breath. Inhale, belly out, exhale, belly in. And she did. She did every day a little bit. In a few months, she told me that her anxiety went away completely. And she was no longer had that attachment to the emotional feelings. And not just that, but very shortly later, she got pregnant. Her fertility flourished. The breath is a vital life force. So let's talk about the breath, pranayama in yogic tradition. Pranayama is usually translated as prana, which is breath, vital life force, the substratum, the energetic substratum that sustain all forms of life, all walks of life. And ayama is usually translated as restraint or control. Therefore, pranayama is the control of breath. But I like to go a little deeper in this thought. Yama is also the god of death in Hinduism. So prana is life, yama is death. We have the in breath and we have the out breath. We inhale, we are alive. We exhale for the last time, we're dead, we're gone. When we practice strong meditation practice, strong sadhana, which is a spiritual practice, we sometimes experience what we have been talking through the series of Cosmic Wisdom School, that we experience extrasensorial perceptions, we experience the awakening of the totality of our brains, of our minds, the capacity of our mind for super consciousness. And a lot of things happen along this way, along this journey of awakening this energy the awakening of those faculties of the mind. And sometimes we go through what is called an ego death or death. Sometimes when we're practicing very strong sadhana, spiritual practice, we experience a feeling that something is dying, that we're about to die, that we're dying. And then we are reborn. And that's enlightenment. So pranayama, it's really this expansion of prana. It's not the control or the restraint of breath, but it's a technique to learn how to expand and redirect the flow of prana, the flow of vital life force. Now, vital life force is everywhere, right? Comes from, some people say comes from the sun, because without sun, any form of life would be able to exist. I don't really have the answer, but prana is everywhere. It's this energy that is everywhere in the universe. And we can absorb this energy through few main ways of absorbing energy as humans and most of animals. One is what is called ana prana. Prana, as we know already, is energy. This energetic substratum that sustains all forms of life. So ana is the food. So there's prana in the food. There's life force in the food. So when we eat, we absorb this life force. When we drink, we absorb apas prana, the prana in the water. When we breathe, we absorb vayu prana, the prana of the air. So three main ways. Ana prana, apas prana, vayu prana. Vayu is the wind, the breath of life. Now, when the prana comes in the body, it subdivides into 5 functions. So when the prana, the vital life force, enters the body, it subdivides into 5 different functions. But first, before I explain that, let me say that before we understand the energetic body, let's understand the totality of our being in this embodiment, this human body. So we exist, we have a physical body, and that is called Ana Maya Kosha. Now we're talking about the koshas, the shields that we are made of. Remember the word ana, food. We are made of matter as the most tangible part of our beings, Ana Maya Kosha, the illusionary body made of matter. But wait a moment, we're not just physicality. We have an energy that makes this body laugh and talk and move and dance and walk. And this is Pranamaya Kosha, the energetic body made of, the body made of energy. And I like the word Maya in it because Maya is translated as illusion. So even that is an illusion. Anamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, but at a moment, I also have a mind. I think, therefore I am. And that is called Mano Maya Kosh. It's also an illusion. Mano Maya, illusion, Kosh, shield. So first I have the physical shield, and then I have my energetic shield, and then I have my mental shield. But wait a moment. I'm not just this body that thinks. I also know that I know. I have wisdom. Some of us have more wisdom than others. So that's called Vijnana Maya Kosh, the illusionary body made of knowledge and wisdom. And when I understand all of that, there's one more shield. It's called Ananda Maya Kosh, the illusionary body made of bliss. And even that is an illusion. Bliss, ecstasy. So those are the shields, the field that we're made of. So when we're talking about pranayama, we're really studying the energy within the body, within the shields. So when I say that yoga touches every aspect of our life, and there's practices for every aspect of our life, that's what we're going to talk about. So for the Annamaya Kosha, for this body made of matter, we have asana, the physical postures. For maintain the good health of our energetic body, we have pranayama, the breathing exercises of yoga. And then we have exercises for the mental body, for the Manomaya Kosha, like meditation, for instance, the cleanse of the impressions of the mind and the subconscious mind. And then we have techniques for the wisdom body, the Vijnana Maya Kosha, like intuitive writing or works that work with the psychic, with the subconscious mind. And then we have practices for the Ananda Maya Kosha, for this blissful body, like ecstatic experiences that we can also gain through some of those practices of trance states, of catharsis states, of ecstatic states. It can be through dancing. Well, we'll talk a lot about that. But there's different techniques for the functioning of each part of our being within the yogic tradition. So then pranayama is the expansion of the energetic body, the expansion of the breath. Not the constraint of the breath, the restraint of the breath, or the control of the breath, although some techniques we do use controlling the breath. But ultimately, the exercise of pranayama is done so we can expand the quantity and quality of prana. So we have this luminous body of light and energy that will give us the support in our deep meditation practices. So what happens when we are in deep states of meditation, as well as in some ecstatic states, the breath spontaneously stops. The breath spontaneously stops in deep states of meditation. We say that with the in-breath, everything is created. Life is here. With the out-breath, we die. There's emptiness, shunya, void. In deep states of meditation, we die. In deep states of meditation, the breath spontaneously stops. In the in-breath, when there's life, there's thought, there's the mind. In the out-breath, in the suspension of the breath, there's emptiness, there's void. That's why we say that in deep states of meditation, there's no thought. You see the combination, the connection between them. So when we practice pranayama, the breathing exercises of yoga, we want to prepare the physical body, Annamaya Kosha. We want to prepare the energetic body, Pranamaya Kosha, for the expansion of the breath, for the expansion of prana. So the breath spontaneously stops, but we continue being alive. When I was in India in one of the teacher trainings received, we had the doctor coming to our class to explain physiologically how this works. So what he explained was that we see the fakirism and some yogis that they stop the heartbeat, right, at will. They stop the breath at will, but they're still alive. So apparently what happens is that we have this things in our lungs. I think it's called alvéolos. Portuguese is alvéolos, alvéolos. And imagine like they're little fingers and they move like this when we breathe. So the doctor said that when we do this type of breathing exercise, when you breathe very, very slow and we suspend the breath for long periods of time, these movements of the alvéolos pulmonares, they go very slowly, almost imperceptible moving, but they're still moving. So there's still kind of breath, but from the eyes of someone from outside, it will perceive that you're not a person. Some people have that during sleep, it's natural apnea. So the yogis can play with that at will in order to explore extraordinary or expanded states of consciousness and awareness. So all these classes that we're having in Cosmic Wisdom School, they are classes to understand extraordinary states of consciousness. So the breath is a great ally, a great tool for this exploration. Some of you know that I also studied transpersonal psychology and holotropic breath work that was created by Stan Groff and Christine Groff. Yesterday was his birthday. And yesterday I was watching 1 hour talk that he was explaining about, he doesn't call extraordinary states of consciousness, he coined the word holotropic, beyond wholeness, so towards wholeness. So those techniques of the breath can help us achieve the sensation and this feeling of wholeness. I'll tell you another little personal story. There was a time in my life where I was practicing mantra chanting meditation religiously every morning at 5:30 in the morning. I still do, but not as deep, I would say, not as rigorous practice as I used to, because I needed and I wanted to explore. And I was feeling that this energy was moving through my body and was so intense, was so strong, that I was scared of that energy. I felt that my whole body was becoming like rock, like heavy wood. I wouldn't move. I couldn't move any part of my body sitting in meditation with my back straight. And that energy would move and rise and rise and rise. And you feel this vibration is so strong. It's just like, it's electricity. It's an electrical energy. And also magnetic. But you feel a strong electricity when you're experiencing, practicing those practices. And I was scared to allow this energy to continue flowing higher and higher, because I had the feeling that I was dying every morning when I was doing the practice. That my body was completely still, I wouldn't breathe, and it was just like vibration moving through my body. So strong. I don't know if some of you have ever experienced that. I recently had a client who read my book and saw the story and had similar experiences, and she wanted to talk to me about it and learn more. So it's very interesting to understand the science behind yoga. Yoga is not just physical postures. Yoga is one of the most complete and intricate science, philosophy, psychology, and practical system for expansion of consciousness, to explore expansion of consciousness that comes with the expansion of the energetic body. So why we do asana, the physical postures, before going into pranayama? Remember, Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh. First is the body, and then the prana, and then the mind, and then the wisdom, and then the bliss. There's an order. We prepare the physical body through postures, through nutrition, through certain practices that will strengthen the nervous system. So then when we start working with pranayama, the breathing exercises, our body is strong enough to sustain, to ground this energy. So it's important to understand the energetic body. So when the prana enters the body, it subdivides into 5 functions. That vayu, that breath of life, entering the body as we breathe. And then it comes into this area of the body, the chest area. This is called prana. That makes it a little complicated because prana is also the general word for energy, life force, but it's also the word used for that one function that when the breathing and the prana enters the body is responsible for the well functioning of this area of the body, the intake. And then you have apana vayu. Apana is in the lower region of the belly. And apana vayu is that form of energy that was responsible for the function of excretion. All that strength of this, everything is energy. When we think, we need energy, requires energy so we can think. Everything is energy. So when we think about our body producing sweat, urination, ejaculation, menstruation, it needs a form of energy that our body can perform this function. And this function is the function of apana vayu. So we have prana at the top and apana in the bottom. Then we have udana vayu, that is in the region of the throat, sneezing, blinking, tearing. And then we have samana vayu, which is in the belly, the mid region of the belly. That's the energy responsible for digestion, for instance, forward movement, assimilation. And then we have Vyana Vayu, that is the Vayu responsible for the movement and the connection of all the other Vayus, like the blood circulation. The movement of this energy is Vyana Vayu. So then we have those 5 functions: Prana, Apana, Udana, Samana, and Vyana. You can write it down. Yeah. So when this prana enters the body and subdivides into all these functions, it moves through the body. But where it moves? We know that the blood moves through the veins. But where Vyana Vayu moves through? So there is a system of energetic veins, little veins, that's called nadis. I think it's the same concept of meridians for the Chinese medicine. So in yoga, we call it nadis. Nadis then is the cable where this energy flows through.